mistreated by the previous administration and Department of Justice. Go ahead.
I understand that everybody is eligible to apply for this fund. I mean, you're eligible, but I assume you're not going to apply, and you don't think you should get money out of this fund.
course.
So isn't it just as easy to say that people that attacked police officers should not get taxpayer money from this fund?
Well, look, John, we're not trying to give money to anybody who attacked a police officer. We're trying to give money, not give money, we're trying to compensate people where the book was thrown at them, they were mistreated by the legal system. Sometimes, you know, we do have, John, in this country, innocent until proven guilty. We do have people who were accused of attacking law enforcement officers. That doesn't mean that we're going to completely ignore some of the claims.
I know,
that they're
that's
gonna
what I'm
make.
thinking.
We're going to evaluate these things on a case-by-case
It's
basis.
probably the right
If
answer, but
that
it's
somebody, whatever they were accused of.
I don't
if
like
we
when he's
think that
talking.
somebody
after we ran like
was
that and
unfairly prosecuted and
don't know,
deserves just compensation,
There's a higher
then
chance
that's
you
what
chop
this
here
fund is
or
going to exist to
at
provide.
least
It's
come
just
back
going
to
to correct a wrong, and I think that's a good thing. And I'd encourage everybody, Democrat, Republican, Independent, let's turn the page on this thing that we did under the last administration where we tried to throw people in prison because they had the wrong politics. Let's throw people in prison who broke the law. I think this fund is a good part of getting justice for the people who were wrongly treated. Back there, yeah.
Is it, so just to follow up on that quickly, does that mean that people that were violent, that were convicted, were mistreated? Are you saying that?
Well, you're asking me to comment on hypotheticals and on any number of dozens of cases. Here's the thing. We're going to look at everything case by case. As you know, every single case has its own details. Every single case has, you know, there are things about it that maybe don't meet the eye. We're just going to look at every case by case. That's all I'm saying. I'm not committing to giving anybody money or committing to giving no one money. What I'm committing to is a legal process to review these claims and to make sure that people who are mistreated by their government get a little bit of compensation because of it. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Yes, sir. I realize that the pointer finger is not as precise as I thought it was. The guy I have this cheat sheet, but the problem with being 41 years old is I'm blinder than I was a few years ago. So we'll say blue blazer, blue tie. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I'd like to ask a quick follow-up on Iran, but first I'd like to ask you about fentanyl. Fentanyl sourced largely from China killed about 403,000 Americans over the past 7 years, according to CDC data. That's one in every 850 Americans.
oh, drop it.
Counterterrorism Director Sebastian Gorka said last week that China's exports amounted to the targeted
What,
killing of
98,
Americans or by other means. Do you
98
agree
on
with that
yes,
assessment, and what is the Trump administration
and
doing to punish and deter China, especially since
like
the
12
Supreme Court
on
struck down
NQ?
fentanyl tariffs?
So go ahead and ask the second question, because I'll try to take each question and then I'll try to answer them and then we'll go on. And if you ask two questions, I can only guarantee that I'll answer one. In fact, I'm a politician. Maybe I won't even answer the one that you asked. But I will try at least to answer one question.
Well, I'd love to hear the
That's a-
defensive response too, if not today sometime.
Go ahead.
On Iran, is Russia taking possession of the enriched uranium in Iran a plausible end to the war? And if not, why not?
So first, on the Russia taking possession of the enriched uranium, look, these things are being discussed through negotiation. That is not currently our plan. That has never been our plan. I've seen some reporting on that. I don't know where it comes from, but the president's going to continue to negotiate a deal. So that is not
The
currently
video's
the
coming
plan
in.
of the United States government. The Iranians have not raised it. My sense is that's not something the Iranians would be
Google
particularly
introduces
excited about,
Gemini
and the
3.5.
president isn't particularly excited about it either.
There was a Nike
But
headline in
who
there
knows?
too.
I'm not going to make pre-commitments in a negotiation on any particular topic. On the question of fentanyl, a lot of people have died from fentanyl, absolutely. A lot of it has come from mainland China. We're certainly aware of that. But here's what I'll say. First of all, we've made incredible strides under Donald Trump's leadership to cut down on fentanyl deaths. If you look at the number of people who died in 2026, it's going to be lower than the number who died in 2025, which is way lower than the number who died in 2024. This is one of the things that I think all Americans, we should be celebrating. And I'm
Come on,
certainly
sell
proud
it.
of the president's leadership for making this possible. We ran, if you remember, in November of 2024 on a very simple idea.
I sold some
That
more
a lot
call
of
spreads
fentanyl came from
up
East
there.
Asia It was smuggled into Central and South America, and then the cartels would bring it into
Up
our country,
50%.
and a lot of our people would get poisoned.
5-0.
There's
We
my
said
next
if you
trim
got
right there
control
at
of the
12
southern
on
border,
NQ.
we would see a substantial
Last
reduction in the number of
last
people who
spot,
died from
runners
fentanyl
only
overdoses in the
65.
United States of America, and that is exactly what's
Um,
happened. Now, yes, the president
should
has
probably
raised this
take
with
one here on
President Xi
ES.
any number of times. I know it came up during the meeting that they had in China just last week, but it's come up in any number of phone
It's the
calls.
21.
And our sense is that President Xi has been willing to work with us on this, and obviously we want to continue to ensure that the Chinese work with us as much as possible because we don't want our people to be poisoned. So we'll keep working on that issue with the Chinese. There's been, I think, a big amount of progress that's been made, but of course we can make a lot more progress, and we're certainly going to be committed
be a
to
big
doing
bounce here.
exactly that. Right. Yeah. White jacket. Sorry,
Oh, hey, yeah, Natalie with Washington.
Natalie.
Post.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vice President. Does the government need to create a new mandatory review process for new AI models, given the concerns about Mythos? And secondly, in a few days, Pope Leo is going to release his encyclical on artificial intelligence. What influence, if any, do you see the Pope's guidance on AI having to the broader society?
Well, I mean, I think when the Pope issues an encyclical on artificial intelligence, it's going to have some influence. I, of course, don't know
I'll
how
be right
much
back.
influence.
I'm
I
trying to
don't
get
know
this
exactly what it's
stupid
gonna
paperwork
say.
printed out.
But I think when the leader of the world's largest Christian
Oh, no, I have a
denomination
paper
speaks on an
jam.
issue like that, it's certainly going to have some influence, and I'm sure it'll contain a lot of insights, some of which I'll probably agree with, some of which I may not, but I think that it's going to be a very, very important document. And I think that, you know, one of the things I always found fascinating about Pope Leo is that he chose the name Leo the 14th.
We're talking about the
Of course,
Pope. Is the
is
Pope short right
recollecting
now?
Leo the 13th. Leo the 13th.
I
He
hope
just
so.
said the Pope's short a
During
5
period
lot. I
of
was like, really?
incredible industrial
Oh.
He's got a
transformation
small
in the
size.
What he
entire
said?
world. Of course, that industrial transformation, according to a lot of people, led to the rise of fascism and communism in Europe. I think it was interesting that Leo the 14th chose that name to maybe apply Christian social teaching in a new era with a new technological innovation in the same way that the Industrial Revolution was the technological innovation of its time. So I think it'll be fascinating. I'm looking forward to reading it. My guess is it's going to have a lot of influence. On the question of what our policy is going to be, look, what we're trying to do in the Trump administration is very simple. The president wants us to be pro-innovation. He wants us to win the AI race against all other countries in the world. He recognizes that AI is going to be an important tool, not just for our economy, but for our military. And so he wants to ensure that we are winning that particular race. We also want to make sure that we're protecting people. We're protecting people's data. We're protecting people's privacy.
Vance
I think
should do
with
this
the
every day.
Mythos
He's
release,
way
one of
better.
the things that we're very focused on, of course,
He's way
is
better.
whether
He's a great
not
speaker.
necessarily the developers of Mythos, but whether some other bad actor could use Mythos
Oh, sorry,
to
Casey.
target various cybersecurity vulnerabilities. So it's something that we're working in a collaborative way with the technology companies, and we're just trying to make sure that the American people are as safe as possible. I'm not going to get ahead of the executive order or any other actions that are going to come out, but we're trying.
I'm not gonna
balance
lie, I
those
would
two
probably
things. We
vote
wanna
for
be
this guy.
Pro-innovation. We recognize. I mean, artificial intelligence could be great. It could help us find cures to diseases that currently, people are dying from. Or
I've never
suffering from.
voted
It
in a
also
presidential
does have
election,
some
but
downsides, and we're trying to balance that safety
guy seems okay.
against innovation.
That you know
and
of.
we
Maybe
think
there
that
was a
we've got the
mail-in
right
ballot
balance
that
in the
went in
Trump
your name.
administration.
Somebody could have
We're gonna
voted
to keep
for
on
me, you
working
know?
on, because that's just the nature of these technologies.
Maybe that's what happened
is they
last-
certainly
yeah.
change. Let's go. Is that Reagan all the way in the back? Daily caller. There we go. Okay. I figured out finally how this seating chart works.
I want to ask you about the anti-fraud task force. You
he's
previously
funny, dude.
mentioned that Ilhan Omar seemed to have committed immigration fraud. Do you anticipate an indictment against her, an indictment related to that situation?
Yeah, so Reagan, I don't want to prejudge an investigation. I mean, you read the things about Ilhan Omar and about who she married and whether she didn't marry this person or that person. It certainly seems like something fishy is there, but everybody's entitled to equal justice under the laws. So we're going to investigate it. We're going to take a look at it. If we think that there's a crime, we're going to prosecute that crime, and that's something the Department of Justice is looking at right now. Yeah.
I think we can get back to like 95 on ES.
What you've seen during your work on this anti-fraud task force, do you believe anything should change about our immigration or refugee policies to stop
Or
fraud in
90?
the United States?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, one thing I'd say is that the biggest immigration fraud that existed under the Biden administration, it's not just that they let a flood of people across the southern border. That was obviously a very major problem and something I'm proud of the president for stopping. But it's also that they allowed the asylum and refugee
they're about to
claimant
stop me out.
process to become totally fraudulent. And so here's what would happen, right? You would take a
Yeah, I just stopped
person
out of
who, in normal
the rest of
cases, would just be
NQ.
a traditional economic immigrant. Whether you let them into the country or not,
Still
they're
got some
trying to come
yes.
because they want a better job. Okay, they would come into the country and say that they were fleeing persecution, and they would say that they were an asylum claimant. And then effectively, what the Biden administration would do is say, okay, you're an asylee. Go into the interior of the country. Here's a work permit. Maybe come back in 10 or 12 years for your hearing on whether you actually have a legitimate asylum claim. So what did that mean? That meant that person was just completely given amnesty and released into the interior of the country. Well, what if that person was a criminal? What if that person actually had a violent history? We didn't do any of the work necessary to ensure that the people coming into our country claiming to be asylum claimants actually had
Yeah, I'm just
anything
gonna close
legitimate
out.
or anything good in their background. So
well.
that is a serious problem. It is something that we
Threw my
have
stop
fixed
at
in the Trump
0.85 on
administration,
yes.
But fundamentally, that loophole, you're going to see sometime
Yeah,
in the
just
future, somebody is going to try to exploit
Yeah.
that loophole, and it's one of the
All
things
right.
that
Well,
we're
you
very
can't.
focused on in
You
the
came
fraud
back
task
to
force,
05.
is making sure that
Well,
the
that's
people
what I
who
said. I
exploited
thought
that
we'd go to
loophole are
7,400 and see if
prosecuted
that
for
kind
it,
of holds
assuming
up.
they committed a crime.
We held the 9. Everything is
So,
probably going to go
I
higher.
don't know your name. You have
Yeah.
a beautiful cross necklace, though, so go ahead.
Kara Castronovo from Lindell TV.
Hi,
Thank you so
Kara.
much. I have 2 questions.
You have a
One of
beautiful
them is,
cross necklace. All right, I'm
going back
flat
to the
across the board.
$1.8 billion fund, not to keep beating that, but sadly, Democrat lawmakers are misrepresenting that fund.
I agree.
Yes,
It's a great question.
And sadly, some of the mainstream media does.
I think the
run
problem
some
is
magazines
ES
and
does
political
go
persecution of
back above these
J6ers.
highs.
So if a violent offender like a J6er was still over sentenced,
I mean, I think it could
literally,
still be a-
some of
it
them
could
were
still be a
sentenced to
short,
24
but-
years in prison.
Well, there is an
Others
hourly
went to
trend line if you draw that,
unconstitutional pre-trial detention, literally
from
tortured in cages.
Monday's high.
Wouldn't that person still be able
On
to apply
ES?
for the fund because of
Yeah.
the
Ah.
process? And
This is why we say, just to answer that very briefly, this is why we say we have to evaluate this thing case by case, right? We don't
Yeah.
in the United States say that everybody
go.
who's
That's your
accused
next
of a
kinda
crime
target.
is automatically guilty.
That's a
in court of
loose
public opinion.
target,
You've
but
gotta actually look at this
that probably
stuff and
puts you
figure out
somewhere around,
what were they accused of. Maybe they did something
back towards
bad
like
even,
17,
but what they
18.
were
You get
accused
north
of
of
was
that,
way worse
you
than what they
you
actually
probably
did.
go to 30.
Maybe they had their entire lives.
I don't really
ruined
think
in a
anything stops
totally
you from there. It gets
disproportionate
thinner.
way.
The
That's
reshort
totally
ES.
illegitimate and
Took my
political.
stop and it's going to go right back down, isn't it?
Just here on this point, one of the interesting things about the American
Well,
media
we're
is
chopping
there is
right
a
around that
fascination.
9
If
on
you
the
go to
daily.
any American law school, there are
SPX
these,
anyways.
you know,
That's kind of what I
prisoner
thought.
rights
Thought
clubs. There
80.
are people
It's right where we
who
are, 86.
objectively committed heinous crimes, but the American media and the American Legal Academy has decided that
Yeah, I
even
wouldn't be
though
surprised to see it
these are
like dip
bad
back under
crimes,
it and come
their
back up
sentence
to
was
it,
disproportionate, they were
go
mistreated in
above
some
it,
way.
come back to
You know
it.
who never ever gets an ounce of sympathy when it
Just close right
comes
on the
to
9
that
ahead of NVIDIA
disproportionate
would make the most
sentencing
sense.
is people who voted for Donald Trump and participated
Today and
in the
tomorrow.
January
Tomorrow we
6th
just put in another
Go to
doji.
your second question.
about Pete Davidson, he made a horrific, obscene joke about the murder of your friend Charlie Kirk. What does this still say about where our political divisions have gone?
Oh, we
What
got a
are you
Pete
specifically
Davidson
doing
reference here?
to bridge the divide, especially as a potential future
Pete
president?
Davidson question?
Sorry, who was it that said something?
Davidson made a really obscene joke about Charlie Kirk. So what are you doing as a potential future candidate or president to bridge the divide?
Well, first of all, I'm not a potential future candidate. I'm a vice president, and I really like my job, and I'm going to try to do as good of a job as I can. But
Good
let me just say
answer,
this. So,
JD.
you talked about Pete Davidson, who said something.
people
bad
hate
about
this
Charlie
guy?
Kirk.
I mean, I know like
Charlie's a
it's
very,
politics,
very
like
dear friend.
people always
More
hate
important
somebody,
than that,
but
Charlie was
seems like a really likable guy just as from a neutral looking at this.
Not deserve to have all of those moments with his kids, all of those moments with his beautiful wife.
I mean, this has got to be the guy
taken
they're
from him
grooming,
in a
right?
way that
I mean,
happened.
that would make
I
the
would
most logical
expect
sense.
Everybody with a heart or a conscience would say whatever we agreed or disagreed with about his particular viewpoints. This is a tragedy, and it's totally unacceptable that. It
Why
happens
is he
in the
out
United
there
States of
anyways?
America.
It's kind
To
of
their
interesting.
credit, a lot of the reporters.
Because Levitt had her
don't agree with
baby.
their politics.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
or
that's
she's
right,
on
that's
maternity
right.
leave or whatever.
Happened to
I don't know if
Charlie
she had the
was
baby.
disgusting, and it shouldn't happen in a civilized country. You talk about bridging the divide. I mean, one thing that happened that hits, you know.
Boy, I
not
knew I
quite
could get
literally
the,
close to
I
home,
knew I could
but
get
there was a
chat
very
going on that one.
terrible shooting that happened at the Muslim Community Center. It seems like 3 people are dead plus the shooters, and you know that community center is actually very close to this restaurant that Ush and I go to every time.
I mean,
we go.
guys,
Her
I'm
family
one of the
lives in
least
San Diego.
political
She was
people.
born and raised in San Diego.
I don't even live in
Every
the US,
time
so.
we go to San Diego, we go to this restaurant that is like maybe a 5-minute
J-
drive from this
JDS, is that going to be a thing?
and I found out about it actually on my way to the White House this morning, and I texted her. I said, you know, would you have known anybody who was like involved in this? And she said, absolutely, I would have known some people, or at least their parents, who might have actually used the services at this community center. I don't know a single person who would say anything other than what I'm about to say, which is that that type of violence in the United States of America is reprehensible. And I encourage every single American to pray for everybody who was involved and affected by it. We don't want that to happen in our country, and may God rest the souls of the people who lost their lives. What I do find a little distressing is that while every person I know, every politically conservative person I know would say exactly what I said about these innocent people who were killed, there were a lot of people who were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And I think one way that we can bridge the divide is just have a very simple principle in this country. Number one, we don't want the government throwing people in prison because they have bad politics, however you define bad politics. Number two, and way more importantly, political violence, wherever it comes from, is unacceptable in the United States of America. Let's talk with one another, not shoot each other when we disagree. I think that's the principle that everybody in this room agrees with. It's certainly the principle the President of the United States agrees with. Okay. All right.
Hey, Ryan.
Sorry.
Yo,
You look at maybe SPX on
I'm
the
gonna try to
leaf for a
read
second.
this here.
On the hourly.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Is that? Are you getting like a little head and
that was kind
shoulders
of
vibe out of
interesting,
this,
so I'm gonna give you
maybe?
a question. All right, go ahead.
So last week, the
Like if we could
Pentagon,
start building out a right shoulder, like
halted,
on the hourly. You see what I'm saying?
deployment of 4,000
this over
troops,
here?
U.S. troops in Poland. to
Yeah,
Poland.
kind of like that.
This
You got
is
a
in
left shoulder,
direct
your head, and then
contradiction to
You kind
President
of have it
Trump
on ES already.
explicitly promised
Yeah.
not to reduce the troop level in Poland. So I'm gonna
Problem
ask
is, if
you
you break this
question,
down trend,
which
here's
many people
here's
in
my
Poland
here'd be my
think.
counterpoint.
Why are you rewarding Putin?
Yeah,
This
for
is-
sure.
this
If that
turn-
breaks
this
up,
turns
it's
into,
invalid.
ally in Europe?
This turns into a
Well,
The
first
bull
of all,
flag?
I'd say there's been no
Yeah.
president who's done more, frankly, to ensure
And, like, honestly,
that
if you go-
Ukraine survived the invasion
bull
of Russia
pennant.
than Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
I
As
agree.
he
What does this look
famously
like?
said, Obama gave him sheets, I gave him javelins, and it was
50
those
period
javelins
on
that
the
ensured that
4 hour
Ukraine still
finally
had
touched for the
territorial
first time.
sovereignty.
Yep.
He's also said
Yeah,
that
if
he
you
wants
clear
to
back
pursue
over
American
740,
policy
it's probably
that
off to the
focus on
races back to
interests of the United
750.
States. And part of that foreign policy is
Oh, I know that
not to
voice. What's up,
reward
Will?
Putin or
What's
not
up,
to
Casey?
punish the
What's
country
up,
like
man?
Poland, which
I think
is
you got to be
we love
prepared for
Poland,
both
we love the Polish
outcomes.
people. No. What we're trying to do, what our foreign policy is geared towards, is promoting European
Yep.
independence and sovereignty.
I mean, this
We
one looks
want
even
Europe
cleaner.
To take more ownership
Yes,
over
it
its
does.
own
And what is?
territorial
I mean,
integrity.
what makes
We want
more
Europe to
sense?
step up in a big way. Now,
I'll
I
move
think you said
higher.
4,000 troops.
I mean,
We've
that's
not
the first
reduced
time we've
our
had
troop
price
levels in
though
Poland
under
by
the
4,000
4. Look at the
troops. What we
moving average
did
stack where
is
you're
that we
under it all.
delayed a troop
We haven't really been there. We've
gonna
been
go to
riding it
Poland. That's not a
for quite a
reduction.
while.
That's just a standard delay in rotation that sometimes happens in
Finally
these
got
situations.
50
But
in the
here's the
50s
fundamental
holding.
problem. Poland is
Oh, let's go
of defending
Intel.
itself with a
Ooh.
lot of support from the United States. We're not talking about pulling every single American troop out of Europe. We're talking about shifting some resources around in a way that maximizes American security. I don't think that's bad for Europe. That's encouraging Europe to take more ownership. The United States cannot be the policeman of the world.
I
We
want to
wanna be
short
good
this thing
allies.
again, but
We want to make sure that our troop presence
can't do
promotes
it.
regional stability in Europe. The president has not said, though he could, the president has not said that he's taken all of the troops out of Europe, but Europe has to stand
right
on its
against
own
29K
feet.
on
That's something that he's been consistent of.
IndieX right
Frankly,
here.
not even since the beginning of this administration, going back to the first administration, is we have got to have more sovereignty and more of Europe standing on its own 2 feet. That will continue to be our policy in Europe.
Those troops will go eventually to Poland?
What I said is that as a delayed troop rotation, those troops could go elsewhere in Europe. We could decide to send them elsewhere. We actually haven't made the final determination about where those troops are ultimately going to go. But what I'm saying is it is not accurate to say that we are pulling a bunch of troops out. It is a very small and very minor thing. And I think, frankly, a lot of the European media, again, is
Tell you what,
overreacting.
Broadcom was another good trade
Here's
today
one
down
thing
at
I'll
that
say about
406. Good spot for a
Look,
bounce.
I have, for my entire life, I'm 41 years old.
Nice
For my
support.
entire life, I have heard
Come on,
chirping
Tesla.
from the European
Trigger.
media about everything that's
Trigger
wrong
the
with
alert,
United States of
baby.
America. We don't have this. We
Oh.
don't have that.
Oh.
We don't spend enough on health care, even though
She's
part of the
edging
reason
it.
why we spend so much on defense was
There it
because tens of
is.
thousands of troops
All right.
in Europe. I
Tessie
think
hitting
that the
target.
European media
Trim
wants to
here.
attack
Go
us
high
in the
day.
United States. They need to start looking in the mirror. All he has said
All right.
is that we're going to be good allies.
Bing
We're
bong.
going to be good
There we go.
friends. We're going to be trading partners, but it is reasonable for Europe to take a little bit more
Yay.
ownership over its continental integrity. Caitlin.
I have a question on the war, but just to follow up, you previously told me that anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th should go to prison. So why not rule out giving them taxpayer-funded money?
Well, Caitlin, what I said is we're going to look at everything case by case. Because, Caitlin, there are people who I don't know their individual circumstances, and I don't rule things out categorically.
This looks like it wants
when I
higher.
know nothing about a person's individual circumstances. Let's say a person is accused, let's say hypothetically, a person is accused of doing something that they never actually did, that they got a kangaroo court, that they had a judge who mistreated them. I think that we should look at those things case by case. We're not making commitments to give anybody money.
Look at yields backing off even more.
But just to follow up
On
on
the
the war,
2-year too.
you last week denied that the president
Oil's
said he
falling.
was not taking Americans' financial situation
I see
into
that.
consideration when he was making decisions on the Iran war. He was asked about that again. He stood by it, called it a
I still,
statement, and said he would.
I feel like the one thing that's
Do you believe
still
that
like
Americans'
a
financial situation
oddball is
should be
why is
taken
real
into
estate getting a
consideration
bid
when you're making
when we just hit,
decisions about the war?
what,
Caitlin,
15,
what you
18-year
did
high in
is
rates?
You misrepresented the
It
question
just
that I
seems
was
weird to
asked,
me.
and then you misrepresented
Why
the
is somebody
answer.
rotating
What
into
I
real
said
estate?
is that a question that was asked where the president
I
allegedly
don't know.
he
Lennar's
allegedly
down.
said that he didn't
They're all
care about
down
Americans'
1 to
financial
2% today.
He never said that.
Does Toll
What he
Brothers
said
report
is
today?
that when it was totally
Toll
taken out
Brothers
of
down
context.
2%.
What he said is that when he is
They
negotiating,
Just
report
looking
after the
at-
close.
I was just looking at XLRE. I just, it's up
that he's trying to
40 or
achieve. Of course, the
40
president has
basis
a
points
mandate
and
to
rates being
be
up, just bizarre
focused
to me.
on a number of
Yeah,
things.
it's
And I
bizarre.
guarantee you, every single day, I have conversations with him about it. Every single day, he's worried about his fellow Americans. He wants them to be prosperous. He wants them to thrive. He wants them to have good jobs. That's
Yeah, you
why
would think
we've done
real
the
estate would
things
be
and
getting
taken the steps that
smashed.
we've taken in order to create record job growth, in order to create record wage growth, in order to induce trillions of dollars of new investment into our country. That's because he cares about that stuff. What he also said is that when he's talking to the Iranians, he's talking to the Iranians about questions, of course, of national security, like their nuclear program. You could hold two thoughts in your head at the same time, that the president cares about financial security for Americans, but also when he's negotiating with the Iranians, he's talking about the issues that are germane to the concerns of that particular conflict. Go ahead.
Going back to the price tag for this DOJ fund, $1.8 billion. You have people
cares about
that
that?
can't afford groceries. Gas is high. People are making
Where's Dave
sacrifices
Chappelle?
in their
Show up right at the
personal lives to
lectern.
accommodate
Somebody
for
talking about
this
oil?
rise in prices. People are telling us that they feel financially worse off. They're very concerned about the uncertainty. How can you justify that amount of taxpayer money for that fund when people are
We're
struggling?
spending
What do you
$2
say
billion
to
a day on the
Americans
war,
who
so
wonder why this
I don't
fund
think
is
that
spending all this
1.8
money
billion is
and
really
I
that
can't
big a deal.
afford basic like amenities?
Well, let me say a couple things about that. First of all, you said $1.8 billion, and it's important for people to realize we're not just writing a $1.8 billion check. We're going to take a lot of people who are going to apply and say that they have been mistreated by their government. We're going to handle
I'm almost
those
willing to
situations
bet
case by
SPX is
case.
going to go
And
get
if
this
we determine
new
they
high.
were in fact mistreated by their government, we think it's
7,400
give them just compensation.
in FP.
But when you talk about funds and pots of money that are out there, I mean, thanks to Donald Trump's leadership and the Working Families Tax Cut, we put $40 billion into a rural health care fund in order to stop the closure, or at least prevent some closure of rural hospitals and rural
God,
communities
I was
under the Biden
a
administration.
point and a
We
half
had a piece of tax legislation
on
that put
the low.
hundreds of billions of dollars into the pockets of families. No taxes on Social Security, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips. So I reject the idea that we can't walk and chew gum at the same time. We can give just compensation to people who are mistreated by their government. We can also make sure that the American people, we do everything that we can to make their lives better, to make them more prosperous, to give them better jobs. That is the primary focus of Donald J. Trump's White House.
these
That's the
Japanese
question
yields
all
are
of us
just-
ask
oh
every
my
single
God.
day is, how do we make
That's
our
probably the
fellow
trade of the
citizens
year,
more
short the
prosperous?
Japanese
We can do
bonds.
that while also taking care of people who were mistreated by the
Probably.
last administration. Wow. Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Mr. Kurdi, sir. After the ceasefire with Iran, drone and missile attacks on the Kurdistan region have not stopped. that happened yesterday as well. What is your position on this issue, and what do you expect from the new Iraqi government?
We do the IP
regarding
retrace.
the
We should go back to
control of
65 on NQ
Well,
and 90
you know,
on ES.
You've asked the president this question before, and we certainly love the
But right
right
now,
Kurdistan. Anytime that drone attacks or missile
looks like
attacks
we
are
wanna
hitting
go
anybody, particularly
higher
civilian
for
populations,
Longor.
that's not something we like to see at all. And it's one of the things that sometimes happens. Unfortunately, these ceasefires, they're not always perfect. We've seen that in Gaza. We've seen that certainly in Iran and some of its neighbors. But we have seen a significant reduction in violence over the last few weeks of the ceasefire. And look, fundamentally, the president's been quite clear. This is going to go, again, in one of two directions. We're going to restart the war, which is not the preference of the president of the United States. We're going to restart the operation. Or we're going to strike a deal, and I think that's an important thing. That's what we're focused on, and that's what we're going to keep on working towards. Okay?
That's not the preference.
Very...
Just reading the tea leaves
Okay.
there.
In like the purple, kind of the purple dress there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Kind of sounded like the open outcry corn pit. Chicago.
Go ahead.
Vice President Rowena Ortiz with Turning Point USA. There has been an uptick in religious violence across the country. What's your message to protect people across all faiths in America?
I appreciate that question. Obviously,
Is this
Turning
a
Points would
19-year-old
know a lot about
college
this
student?
issue. As we talked about earlier, you guys have been the subject of a fair amount of violence yourself. I guess what I would say is the principle of religious violence is particularly disgusting, especially in the United States of America.
All right, do we have a lower high or do we have a
It's one
flag?
of the most anti-Christian things and anti-American things that you could do. And here's why. One, because a fundamental principle of all the great faiths is we are all children of God, and because of that, we are endowed by certain rights that are unique to our status as human beings. You violate those rights, most importantly, when you commit violence against another person.
I'm flat.
You
I
violate
want to
them
be
in other
short.
ways
I
as
can
well.
see the
The
long
most
argument.
profound
I
way
don't
to
want to fight
violate
that.
The fundamental right of human dignity is to commit violence. But here's why the religious piece of it is particularly egregious. One of the fundamental American rights that I think came from our Christian heritage as a civilization is the idea that we respect people's religious freedom, in part because we respect them as human beings, but also because we respect their right to find their own pathway to God. You can't force anybody to a pathway to God. They have to, through their own free will, find God themselves. That's one of the reasons why that right of religious freedom is the very first right enshrined in our Constitution. So when you commit acts of violence, you're committing an act against this fundamental idea that people are created in the image of God and that they have the right through their own free will to find God however they might want. And as a Christian, of course, you might have your preference for how they find their pathway to God. They have to find that choice. And anybody who would commit violence against another human being in the name of religion is, I think, doing something that is a violation, of course, of the laws of man, but I think more importantly, it is a fundamental violation of the laws.
Yeah,
of God.
internals are still pretty weak here.
Let me go with. Okay, Garrett, you have your hand up. Garrett,
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Midterms are well underway. You've got voters going to the polls in 6 states today. You and the president ran on a platform that included no new wars, cutting gas prices, cutting inflation. What do you say to the people who are going to the polls today and who feel like those promises are unkept?
Well, I'd say a few things. First of all, we've delivered great wins for the American people. We ran on delivering tax cuts to the American people, which we did, the largest tax cuts in American history. We ran on cutting taxes, particularly
Previous day low test there on Tesla.
Working on tips. We cut taxes for those.
Daly's closing
We ran on the
beautiful.
promise of bringing investment back into the United States of America, that rather than factory
What's goody,
closures,
boys?
we were going to have
It was a hell of an entry and hell of a chart today on
jobs in
Tesla.
manufacturing, but also manufacturing jobs have great rebounds under the Trump administration.
Damn.
and
That,
under our
that daily trend line. Right off that trend line, Jordan. You said it this morning. We said under 400 to 397. It based there all
that it is a
day.
temporary increase. We're taking a
That
number
trend
of
line.
steps to try to push back
Perfect.
against it,
Literally,
to
like,
ensure that
perfect.
Americans are paying as little at the pump as possible.
Couldn't
I'm
have been
quite confident
any
after taking
easier.
care of business in the Middle East, those prices are going to come down, and there have been a lot of prices, as you know, a lot of prices from rent to housing.
We got
hit one on the higher lows.
We do see some real progress made across the economy on pricing.
From that bottom of that chart.
Back testing that previous high.
Draw the bottom.
Okay.
Very bottom of that chart. Yeah.
I'm gonna call on John. I'm just gonna call on John.
Yeah.
We bought that.
Yes. Great to see you too. Thank you.
So you just bought options, right? What'd you buy?
Yeah.
What options you buy?
We are now.
I bought some 450s.
What's your message to the
for
American
July.
people as to why it's gone on so long and it hasn't ended yet?
Well, first of all, the president
Hey,
said
you
it's
guys,
going to be
you
a
guys see?
short-term
Did you even
operation,
notice?
and I think that is proven.
June,
to be
sorry.
true. The
450s
active
for
period
June.
of conflict lasted about 5.5 weeks.
Look at the background.
And now we've been in the ceasefire where we're
Can't
trying
tell
to
what
get
it
a
is.
negotiated settlement that gets
can't
the
tell what
American
it
people
is?
the things that we need for
No.
our
That's
national
Wolf,
security.
baby.
So I've said
With the
before,
logo and the
we're gonna
O.
have one of two options here. We're going to have
You
a
like that?
good settlement. that
Fire.
actually gets the
I like that
American
color
people
too.
need,
It's a good
or
color, huh?
we're going to go back
That's
to
It's a
a
little
really
bright.
nice
I'm
color.
still trying to
Obviously,
figure
the
out like the
president
fine settings with it.
prefers
It's
to
hard
get
with the
that settlement.
camera.
I think the Iranians prefer to get that settlement. But
we'll get it-
regardless
we'll
of
get it
what
figured
direction
out.
the president ultimately goes down,
I
whatever
also
ultimately
want it
decides,
hung up
I think
right
it's important
there.
for the American people to know two things. Number one, it will be
But
for their security
getting
and their
there.
prosperity. That's why we're doing this. And number two, it will not. This is not going to be the sort of thing that lasts forever. I think a lot of Americans, especially in my generation, who are worried about forever endless conflicts, we have to remember, I think you said 11 weeks, a big chunk of that has been a ceasefire. This is not a forever.
Forever
We're gonna take care of
young.
business and come home. That's
I
what the
wanna
president's promised,
be
and that's exactly what he's going to
forever
deliver. Go ahead. Yes. No, the orange.
Who the hell is talking?
Guys, please don't shout over each other.
Put him in place, JD.
There we go. I kind of like this guy. I don't know. I feel like some people obviously are gonna hate him because of political stuff, but
Memorandum of understanding between the US
seems like a pretty likable
and
guy.
Iran that can lead to a deal. Can you confirm that? And one other question also on Iran. You've spent over than 20 hours with the Iranian negotiating. Do you believe that other countries may be able to achieve what those negotiations could not?
Come on, roll it
I
over.
think the purpose of our initial negotiation was one,
Let's
to
have some
establish
fun.
relationships between two countries that hadn't talked directly in a very, very long time. And number two, just to get the pathway started to negotiation. I don't think any of us, meaning me, Jared Kushner, and Steve Witkoff, had any great confidence that we were going to be able to reach a deal. But we did think we were going to take important steps along the pathway to reaching a deal, and we did. Now, you asked what the Egyptian foreign minister said. I haven't seen those comments, so I won't comment on
Orb
them
high,
myself.
IB
What I'd
high
say
on
is,
a yes
I'm not
again.
going to detail what's going on in the negotiation. There's a lot of back and forth. A lot of good progress is being made. but
21
we're just going to keep on working at it,
on
and eventually
21.
we'll either hit a
NQ?
deal or we
21.
won't. But we're going to keep on working at it. And I think it's important for us to actually privately have these conversations, because sometimes when you're doing a negotiation and you put everything out there in public, it actually complicates things more than it should. So we're going to keep these negotiations private until we've got something, of course, to tell the American people, and at that time we will. Okay. Yeah. Is that a magenta tie? It's hard to tell.
Is that a magenta tie?
He's like a purple tie there, right?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr.
so
Vice
this
President.
guy insists
Oh.
that he has the real
Ooh.
purple tie. So I'll give you a question too.
Schmacking
Go
it.
ahead.
Thank you,
Oh.
Mr. Vice President. Two questions for you, one on Iran and one on China.
What was that?
A trip last week.
Little
On
slappy.
Iran, you met on April
Ooh,
11th
little wiki action.
negotiators, including
Google?
foreign ministers.
No?
Right back up.
Is it your sense,
Whoa.
Mr. Vice President,
Whoa.
that they're just stringing the U.S. along? That's this sense from lawmakers from both parties. And then on China,
Should
you
have been
come from a
short.
state that manufactures a lot of automobiles.
Not seeing
Is it
anything
your
crazy
sense
on the
that
mags.
in this
I don't
term
see
that you
anything
have with the president,
headline.
that China
And we're
branded
watching
vehicles
JP or
will be
JD
sold
Live.
right here in America?
Well, I think
AMD
that
just
what
rolled a
the
little
president
bit.
Wall Street Journal?
A willingness to do, unlike any president in my lifetime, is to protect the
Wall
American
Street
automobile
Journal.
industry. We are not gonna let the
U.S.
American automobile
seizes
industry
Iran-linked
disappear.
ship
There are a lot of ways
as
in which
President
we've
Trump.
reinvested, in which we've tariffed foreign competitors to ensure that American car workers, American auto workers, and the products they develop are going to be made right here in the United States of America.
The
and
headline
also
was,
available right here in the United States of America. I think it's important for just the American people.
U.S. seizes
I wanna make this point.
Iranian-linked ship
Car manufacturing is
as
one of those
Trump
skills that
considers
disappears,
resuming the
it's
war.
hard to regain.
Wall Street
And
Journal.
when you've got people who can build complex machines, and our great workers in Ohio, Michigan, and elsewhere, they do a very good job. They also, God forbid, in times of national emergency, can be called on to manufacture other complex machinery. So it's very, very important that we protect that native auto industry. The president has done more on this than anybody, but we're certainly going to keep on working at it. You asked about being strung along. Look, you never know until you know, right? Well, what all we can do is negotiate in good faith, try to find a pathway that accomplishes the president's objectives, that accomplishes the national security interests of the American people, and gets this thing in a good place. I think somebody earlier asked this question. I am not certain, and I'm not going to be certain until we sign a deal, that we have a deal.
NOW now, 105 calls coming in.
Keep on doing the work and to try to find a good deal for the American people, and that's what I'm going to do. So the guy with the real purple tie, I will give you the final question, and then I'm going to have to hit the road.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Sorry, this guy and then the very tall guy here. We'll give him the question. Sorry, I can't get to everybody. Marco's right. This really is chaos. This is crazy. You guys got to behave yourself.
Well, let's get this IB retrace.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The president's financial disclosures were released recently, and they showed a lot of stock trades in companies that he has talked up at events, official events at the White House, on his True Social account, sometimes even putting the stock ticker symbols in his posts and encouraging people to buy their stock. American
NQ downside targets, it's right there where it just bounced, like 010. And then 65 would be your IB retrace. But you're holding the 21 right here.
Thank you, sir. Trading individual stocks.
Yes, it's 90.
Said that public officials should not be able to do when you ran for Senate all those years ago. And yet the president, who arguably has access to more non-public information than your average senator, is not only buying and selling individual stocks either through his trust.
Okay. What's the question?
The question is, the question, sir, is how can you and your administration argue to Americans that you're cleaning up corruption, you're preventing fraud, you're fighting the sorts of things that harm
This is a good question.
Financial situations,
Mm-hmm.
when the president seems to be talking up stocks that he owns, selling them, and enriching himself?
Okay, so here, let me answer your question here. That was a doozy. Before I answer your question, I want to just observe there are different ways to ask a question. Okay, you could just ask a question and try to get your answer, or you could do like a speech where you say, you know, Mr. Vice President, you're a terrible human being, and so is the president, and so is the entire cabinet. And then I'm like, what's your question? And then your question is, how dare you? Come on, man. Have a little bit of objectivity in the way that you ask these questions, because there were a lot of things in that speech masquerading as a question that didn't actually get asked. Okay, number one.
I love the fact that he's calling out this journalist.
In the Oval Office on his computer on his like Robinhood account, buying and selling stocks. That's
Oh, Robinhood, pump it.
He has independent wealth advisors who manage his money. He is a wealthy person. He has had success
Is that Will?
in business. He's not making these stock trades himself. And your question imputes that. It doesn't say.
Dude, did
exactly,
Robinhood just get a pump on that? I think it did.
Listening to that question would assume the
No
president
way.
is sitting around and doing that. He's not.
Did Hood
Second
really
of all,
get a
you're
move
right.
off that?
I'm
No.
a big fan of banning
No, I'm
members of
kidding.
Congress from trading
Yeah, they're selling it a little
maybe
bit.
they're selling Hood because they're like, oh, Trump doesn't use Hood.
Yeah.
To be taking proprietary information gained from.
Tell him that he trades on Weeble.
I'm shorted
Yeah.
here.
We want to ban.
Yes,
we want
thank
to
you
ban
both.
that.
I'm just looking for the IB
ban that
retrace.
process, and I think the way
Tell him that he trades on Weeble.
is banning that process, banning that approach. and
Looking
making it illegal,
for
which is
65
exactly what the president has
and on
proposed.
NQ, I'm looking for 90 on ES.
Yes.
Gateway Pundit. I'll try to make this short. There was, you might have seen this, there was a massive United Kingdom rally in London just last weekend. They were protesting mass illegal immigration and the replacement of British culture. What message do you think this should send to globalist European leaders and to leaders here? And also, I wanted to ask about several House members.
I mean, he kind of answered the question, but
this push to pass
not really.
It's called the Dignity Act, but it's really just
I mean, if you're a politician, that was a beautiful job.
He answered it in a great way.
Well, number one, I don't like giving amnesty to anybody.
But we wanted more.
Great Britain and the
It's media
United Kingdom
trained,
rally.
man.
One of the
Well, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that was the perfect way to like take a shot at the reporter for asking going on a rant to ask a question.
All over the country, and sometimes, they're fairly well attended, and sometimes they're very.
But that's what the senators do. If you've ever watched like the senators when they like interview Jerome Powell or whoever, they just go through this like speech pandering thing and then ask like a half question at the end.
The congressional chamber, and these guys break out in rapturous applause.
Pre-scripted.
So maybe they don't care.
But that was a beautiful job of attacking the reporter first on a tough question. Attack the reporter first, classic, and then turn around and skirt the question with a good answer.
One of the problems that we have.
I mean, we all know Trump's not trading his account.
We have a lot of people.
What do you mean? He probably buys options. He's doing 0 DTs.
That's why he's like 45 minutes late every time.
But he definitely gets a heads up and knows information that is not public or is given before released to the public.
Is this idea that the way to generate prosperity is to bring in
all right, little de-risk trim I just hit here.
Drop them into your neighborhoods,
and
we simply reject that idea.
No, I'm sorry.
So to everybody in the UK who rejects that idea, I'd encourage them to just.
I have an alert set for 7:35:50 for a bounce spot on SPY. It's your midpoint of the day from low to high. I'll be your 50%. We just came within pennies.
You don't even know. It is reasonable for the people in Western societies to want to control who comes into their country and who doesn't. A lot of people, frankly, a lot of people in the media have tried to persuade all of those people that it's somehow racist to want to protect your borders, even though very often
that's what I figured. We said this earlier, like if we reject it off that 10 level, we just go back to like the mid 90s and chop around.
America, and I guarantee that's true in the UK. So we believe in making America great again. You can't do that unless you protect your borders. I'd encourage our friends in the UK to follow the same path. Thank you all. Good to see you.
Well done, JD.
What a guy.
What a guy. Oil back up. There goes oil.
Oil just settled, so.
Yeah, 104.55 back to the upside.
Oh no. I'll tell you right now, because if we lose the midpoint and just come right back in, I'm going to the pool.
Yep, there goes yields. Oil and yields moving together. Big pump.
We're bouncing right on the daily 9 right now on Qs. We're right under it on SPX.
I think it's a long ride down here again. If you want to get long, we're going to hold and push back up into the close. This is your dip.
You need oil. I think you need oil to cool off, though.
Rizzo go to sleep?
Must have.
There goes now. 5-minute bull flag breakout after that low came in on the 105s. Popping.
Yeah, software was getting a nice move today. Microsoft opened up very strong, but gave it all back.
I know. I closed right out of the gate.
First 30 minutes on software looked good, and then it just see ya.
When
they were like, nope, we're going back to chips. We're going back to
when it hit 430 and my zone went to 432, I was up like 105, 110% sold, and then it just freaking started breaking down after that. Those now calls, they were buying them at 2.3.
Trump's trying to get us to see if we can get 8% mortgages. It's going to be super good for housing.
What?
What do you guys think, chat? 8, 9%? Can you imagine 10% mortgages? What are we doing?
Moving
that
to
would
Mexico.
Be I don't think housing will be very good.
I thought I didn't like my interest rate on the new house when I got it, but it's definitely better than fucking that.
I got locked in back in 22.
My old interest rate was 2%. And then the new house right now is 5%, which I did not like.
2.875.
But
I had 3.25 from like 2017, I think, when I bought my house. That I sold. I sold it in 22, I think.
Is Frank still here?
Somewhere.
Yeah, I'm here.
I got a question for you, Frank.
Sure.
What's your thoughts on paying off your mortgage and in an economy like this, especially for somebody who has a mortgage and they've been in it for, say, a few years, like maybe 2 or 3 years. By year 5 or so, they could pay it off completely. What is
at 5%?
Currently at 5%. Currently at 5% right now.
Wouldn't do it.
Paying off your mortgage in like the first few years, if you have the financial like to do it, would you?
I would personally.
Well, do you take like the write-offs aren't what they used to be on houses?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you take an office write-off. So it all depends on, like, you know, if you feel like, listen, I can get rid of this thing and I'm not going to worry about it anymore, you just can't lean on it. You could always get you can pay it off and then get a line of credit in case you need like a temporary loan, or you know what I mean. You get a line of credit, like say you live in a $500,000 house, you can pay it off and you can get a $200,000 line of credit.
That's what I was going to say. Do a HELOC in case you need it.
So if that gives you comfort, it's a comfort thing. There's really no tax advantage anymore to owning a fucking house, which is sad.
Right.
You know, you can write off part of the mortgage. I think you can write off $10,000.
Yeah.
Or you can write off the interest.
You can write off $10,000 of the interest, maybe.
Yeah. So I don't unless you have like a sub 3, maybe 3.5% mortgage. I don't.
Yeah, if you had a 3% mortgage, you'd be like, yeah, it's 3% money. You use it.
That's inflation.
You're better off investing your money at 3%.
Correct.
But if you want that security, financial security of owning your house outright, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would say is it's frozen capital is the one thing. If you have a 3 or 3.5 or 4% mortgage, even let's just say inflation over the long term is at 2%. So if you actually look at your real rate, if you're paying 4 and inflation target is 2 and you're at 2, it's been more than that, you're really only paying 2%. And anybody that's less than 2, if you're 3 or 2.5 and inflation's been running at 3, you're really negative 1% in real terms. So
what I would do is I would pay off the mortgage and do what Frank was saying. I'd get a HELOC, home equity line of credit, or I would take like a cash out refinance and buy another property and cash flow that way. So like if you're planning on paying a mortgage payment either way, like if you have that budgeted in, but you have the money to pay it off, I would pay it off, and then I would use the equity in my primary residence to purchase a investment property, rent that out, and use that rent to just cover the payments. And you're going to get a better rate on your primary than you are a secondary or a investment property.
Yep. And you get some tax benefits on the rental.
So you could probably do a cash out refinance, for the similar rate. But if you try to buy a investment property, you're probably going to end up, paying 8. Or you're going to do a balloon, like a 3-year balloon. But that's what I would do. And even if you don't want to buy the second property, I would do it and buy the second property. Just
I do. I eventually want to get into having other assets and investments and get into real estate, owning a few things as well.
Yeah, you know, you need to buy the little
You
things.
should only think about real estate, buying it when it's stressed. You know what I mean? Like if you live in a town and we go into a recession and someone's selling a store with two apartments up top, you're like, wow, look at that. I can buy the store and the 2 apartments, and I can throw one of my 22-year-old kids there when they get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give them charge those kids
invest
rent,
in those
your
little-
money
you
back
should-
out of those 3 little brats of yours.
You should buy those little ice
Oh, he
houses.
did it.
You know the
No, they are.
Those little girls are never leaving their daddy. No,
you
but
should
you
buy.
know,
You
that's
know the
when
little
want-
bagged ice that like on the side of the road, just in the corner of like a little parking lot.
Yeah.
You should buy one of those. Just sell
Dude.
ice to people.
I would love to own that, a fucking car wash, fucking something.
Car wash is a headache.
But it's a headache. Car washes are a headache.
Oh yeah, that's the reason
There's a lot
why
of
I don't have the time to deal with all that
employees.
shit with everything else that we're already doing
I have
now.
a buddy that he has a car wash, but they own a
Laundromats
oil change
too.
lube. They have an oil change lube next door to the car wash, so they're like right there all day. It's on the same property. They keep an eye on it.
Because we plan on being in this house, you know, until obviously the kids move out. So I'm talking 15, 16 years. So it's halfway through my 30-year mortgage. And I mean, I'm going to be paying more in interest than my loan that's on the house. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Well, it's always like,
because I'm right now, you know, currently own, you know, $500,000 on the house. But when it's all said and done, I'm paying over $600,000 in interest. And
Yeah, but what is that capital worth? Like, that's the thing. Like, okay, if you had, let's just say you have $500K in cash, and that's invested over 15 years, even if it was in some type of, you know, dividend growth, something like that, that's a little bit more secure.
well, yeah, you got 7 or 8% return versus 5%
You're still
interest.
right. You're still
netting
ahead.
3.
Exactly.
yeah,
So
So like right now I have money parked, but it's I want to say the first year I was getting 5.5. Now I think it's 4.5. So I have one account that I don't touch whatsoever, and I just put money over there to stack up, and I think it's 4.5 is the APY on that, and just trying to figure out if it's. I mean, this is only the second house that I've ever bought, so I didn't know if there's any real big benefit to using, you know, the capital if you have it to pay off your mortgage, especially in, you know, an economy like this, or if it's better, you know, if there's other, you know, strategies, ways around it to use that capital for something else to kind of, you know, offset still having that 30-year mortgage at that interest rate, paying all of that shit. So
I don't know. Like for me, I took a bunch of capital and built like and one of my portfolios is just like, it's all like dividend and some REITs and, you know, stuff that pays, and the average yield's like 6.7, and it's kind of spread across a bunch of stuff. So it has some diversity. And I just let that chill.
Come on, retrace this IB.
about to hit the midpoint. Do you plan on financing your kids' college tuition? Hell no.
Better figure it out, kid.
Yeah, they got to figure it out for themselves like I did. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe, I don't know. Everly is going to be a 6 foot tall female in high school and college. So,
bro, that's so insane.
Dude, it's insane. They're estimating They're estimating Matthew to be between 6'2" and 6'5" at his peak.
My goodness.
I mean, if they got that kind of height in high school and college, they better do something good with it.
Make sure they're playing basketball.
Yeah, I don't care what you do. Volleyball,
We might be watching
basketball,
Casey's
soccer.
kids in the NBA.
Right? They got to
20
do
years,
something
man.
if they got that height. Dude, Everly today, I got her ready, and she has this dress, and it has like the alphabet on it. It's got apples and like little toys on it, like for school and stuff. And she calls it her school dress because she knows she's going to start pre-K here soon. She said, "I want to wear my school dress." So I get her dressed in her little in her school dress, and she puts on her bow, her sunglasses. She's got like these pink Minnie Mouse kind of like wedges or whatever. She wears them every day, and I go and get the twins ready. And she's 4, the twins are 2, and getting the twins are Matthew's a little bit taller for a 2-year-old, and I go get them ready, and I come around the corner, and Everly's walking down the hallway in them little Minnie Mouse wedges or whatever, and I swear to God, she just looked like she was like 7 or 8 years old. I'm like, oh my. I'm like, girl, you are freaking tall. She just all legs.
That's so funny.
I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I didn't realize how fast she is growing right now. It is insane. Tesla new high a day? What? Briefly. Yeah, didn't they say they were bringing out like 40 or 50-year mortgages? Wasn't that a thing?
I mean, there hasn't been, nobody's doing it, but it was.
Let me tell you what a bad idea sounds like.
I can't believe they ever actually
pump
brought
the
that
housing
up.
market, pump it up even more, and then it'll be like cars. So people be underwater on mortgages. That'll be not good. Never pay any principal. Can you imagine having a bunch of 40-year mortgages and then a big housing correction? That would be like, oh.
Are my kids employees? No, they're not employees yet. They're too young for that.
No, that's not true.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, you can. Oh, yes, you
for
can.
For a 2-year-old.
There's like a threshold. There's a threshold you can do until they're like old enough to reasonably do a task.
Yeah, well, once you do it, you can start, and then you can have an IRA as well.
Yeah,
in their name.
You can start building. You're probably already
marketing
their credit.
You post your kids enough that they could be marketing.
Yeah,
100%. I'm gonna have a Casey Trade mascot, and I'm gonna freaking put him in.
There you go. That qualifies.
An outfit.
Dude, my grandfather took out a 30-year mortgage at like 87 years old. He was like, "Oh, they're gonna give me free money." Hell yeah!
I'm gonna buy this mansion. But you can't afford it for the next 30 years. I don't plan on paying it for the next 30 years.
I ain't gonna be here.
Newsflash!
Come repo my house.
Yeah.
You said get that for sale sign ready in about 8 years.
Yeah, I was just going back and forth with if it was worth, getting rid of like your family's largest bill, right? To have that kind of financial clarity that, for the rest of their time growing up, like,
what if
this is paid, or if it's worth moving that cash into something else to make even more money over time to offset the, the.
It's all about
interest
cash
and
flow.
Do you have life insurance?
I'm in the process of it right now, actually.
Because like that's part of the life insurance thing is like, do you have enough life insurance that would pay off your house so that your family doesn't have an issue? My other thing would be
100%.
If you know that you're
your
going to
midpoint just hit, by the way, on SPY for today's range.
If you know that you're going to pay X amount, like for your mortgage a month, and you have that money, like if you paid it off, you're almost like loaning the money to yourself instead at no interest.
Yeah.
Right.
So you could take that mortgage payment every month and put it into, an investment account or something else.
Steven, I would get a whole life policy. Let's say you get a whole life policy for like $1 million, let's say $1.4 million.
We're doing 1.5 right now.
All right, you do $1.5 million and tell them that you want to pay it off in 10 years so you don't have to worry about it. So it reinvests for itself. then you never think about it again.
And it's cash. Whole life has cash value.
It's
Term
like cash
expires.
value.
You have cash value, and you can actually
Borrow
take loans
against
against
it.
it.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Right.
Tax free, by the way.
Let me write this down.
Yeah, do not
Yeah,
do
because
term.
once you have a whole life policy, you can borrow against it because again, debt's tax free. So the money in there will keep growing, and you can take the loan against it, and you never have to, I mean, in theory, you never have to pay it back. It comes out of the benefit.
I mean, my personal thought would be pay off the mortgage, take your mortgage payment, and pay it into a Roth. And then you put the other one into you could split it into one Roth and one traditional.
Yeah, but Roth has
I have a
income cap, though, does it not?
Yeah, I have a traditional right now from my old job that I still have, and then I have a SEP.
I think you got to be under 242 in MAGI for Roth. If you're over that, you can't contribute.
Yeah,
Which
and
they- I think-
your company can also
Sorry,
contribute.
by accident.
Your company can contribute like a
Mhm.
what's it called, a match, employee match.
Yep. So like I got to open up one for I can hire, wife and kids on it. I can contribute to them as well. I think my CPA told me it's like 20 something thousand I'm capped at a year for my SEP IRA.
Dude, I'm afraid they're gonna hold it right here. Just chop.
I'm debating on if I want to open up a quick long before I bounce.
I'm still short looking for that IB retrace because we accepted back under, but we're a point away, 2 points away on ES. NQ's still got it decent. It's starting to look like it's going to hold. Just try to close it here, or maybe they pull the S&P back up to close at the 9.
Still in these 1 hour squeezes too.
I mean, the other option is, just pay off your mortgage on full port calls tomorrow. Hopefully,
Right. Dude, you know how many times I've thought about, just like it just takes one time. It takes one.
Yeah, but it also the problem is this in this game. It's all about
Yeah.
staying. It's all about
Yeah.
staying alive.
I know.
It is all about staying alive. Take one blow up, you're done. There's no. Look at oil trucking. Here goes oil. God, that just on the weekly chart, it just looks like a nice consolidation to just break higher. Riding the moving averages, like oil could just spring right to 110.
Oh, I got to go host for Evan in 8 minutes, Jordan.
What about?
Yep. I'm about to bounce out for the day. As we are sitting back at the midpoint, I'm going to take anything in the last hour, maybe SPX, but I'll do that on my phone. If we sat back underneath this, I'm not really interested in much else.
This is exactly where I thought we'd go.
All right. Here comes my trim on ES right there. I front ran. I'm flat ES now. IB retracement, and I'm gonna take 976 here on NQ.
Well, we top ticked it at the 125. I'll tell you that. That was the high. 126 and a quarter. We're just a little early. We're a little early. But that was the right spot.
That's what the Bitcoin people always tell me. You're so early.
So early in the cycle. Oil at 200 and 10-year at 5%, and the SPX going to 7,500. Maybe
So
like
early.
5,000.
You're so early.
I don't see that. Did you see oil at 200? I promise you, the SPX will not be at 7,500.
Tell me how bad Bitcoin looks right here.
Horrible.
Lose the 50-day, and this thing is toast. 200-day got smacked.
Broke trend on the daily. I think it comes back.
I'm trying to tell people it look bad. I just don't. All right, I'm out of NQ here, just because there's a huge order on the book map. And there's your retracement complete.
There goes oil.
I am flat.
Oh god, this chart of oil, like on the daily, just looks like it just wants to pump. Like heavy. Like right up to 110. 110, 111. I'm going with tacos by Friday. Like real tacos.
Tacos sound good.
I can't see Trump going into the weekend saying we're going to restart the war and we're going to go in there and hammer them again and send oil to 150. Like, that just seems like such a bad move. Because I don't know how you unscramble that, even if they do that. Unless it's like we go in Friday and then they wave the white flag by Saturday before markets open on Sunday night. Could that be the scenario? But
All right,
I just
guys.
don't know.
I'm headed out for the day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds good, Casey.
Later. Have a fun power hour, and I'll see you in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Later on.
I'm headed out of here too, Jordy.
All right.
We go get ready for the space.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, tacos and Tecatis. Yeah, Modelo maybe.
Big shout out to our sponsor, Leverage Shares, live all day, every day. Stop the screen share, get this shut down.
64, man, they really pulled it. That's what we did. We went right to that 85.90, which is the 9, kind of rejected off it. And here we come back down.
Lead us to the glory land.
And watch them buy it right back up to the 9.
I think 76 is your target here coming on ES. Maybe you go 78. 78 to 75 is kind of the zone.
SPY's right on the NFP. You could just bounce right back up here.
Yeah.
QQQ still has room. All right, I'm out of here.
All right.
She was a stubborn one today, but we fought her.
Yeah. Yes, we did. Let's go to the glory land. I'm ready. Might just throw it.
Legal.
I don't want to do a trade, but I kind of want to do a power hour trade.
Guys, we rolled through it yesterday. Those weekly lows, previous week lows. Snatched them.
I mean, we caught Jordy. We went right to when
That was
Rizzo
nice.
was here. He left, but
Yeah, he
that 125 high was kind of the spot we were looking at. We thought we were trying to short like 070s or whatever, but I just kept thinking we would go touch that level, and then we did. And here we come all the way back. Makes sense. Because like 74.85 was the 9 period on the daily for SPX, and I thought, all right, this is probably an area that at least gets some type of rejection once you come to it, which it did. We went a little over it, but not much. You know, once you gap below it, you come test it. Almost filled the gap. Got close, but didn't get there. Yeah, look at semis now red. And we got earnings tomorrow for NVIDIA. That's going to be that'll be real interesting, I think. I think that's going to be the spot that is a little bit more interesting tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I think that I think we get something by Friday. Is kind of what I think. I think here you got oil. If you got oil up at 105, looks like it wants to go higher. Still riding the 9. Like they really want to go into Memorial Day, but $7, $6 gas everywhere. It's gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be wild. Fuck. Isn't it the 250th anniversary of America? Isn't that getting close this year? Way to celebrate. $8 diesel in California.
$8.
My buddy sent me a pic the other day. It was $8.49 for diesel in LA.
Ridiculous, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to go back to California in like a week.
Yeah.
So
you should probably get a bike. You don't want to drive anywhere. It's too expensive.
Yeah. Well, I'll be driving my Tesla if I drive anything.
There you go.
I think right now with everything going on, electric is a bit better.
Probably the right move.
It's not always,
where do we close this up? Do they float this back up to like 80, 85? I think maybe.
What's up, Joe?
Glitched out. If we go to 56, 55.
Are we doing the chat?
I need to figure out how to hang this sign without putting holes in the wall.
What's up, Newton? How we doing?
Delete. Why is this spam? Oh, you grinding the codes? Assassin's Creed disappearing on us. I think it's the background. It got a little flickery.
Yeah, it always does that because of the white on white. Yeah, I disappear.
You're good.
Let me see if there's a better one. Oh wait, I could upload one. Oh wait, hold on. Bang. Backwards, but there's the logo.
Oh, there we go.
Backwards, but that's okay.
Well, I don't want to put holes in the wall because we don't own this place. I don't even think I could put a hole in this wall. It's fucking straight cinder block. Like, I'm pretty sure. Get some like sticky pads or something.
It's not a bad idea.
It looks good though. Looks nice. I don't feel like the camera does it justice. Commander hooks. Well, commander hooks.
Oh, dude, those are like the college cheat
Which
code.
ones are you talking about? Like, oh yeah. I just don't think that would hold it. Maybe if I fucking super glued them to the wall. Maybe if
A
I
little
did that.
epoxy.
Oh, tap cons, that's true.
My chair has been like descending all day, and it never happens when you're just like doing something wishy-washy. It always happens when you're like doing something.
But if I fucking drill a cinder block hole, that's fucked. There's no way to fill that, really. You can fill that. It's not like drywall. I don't know how easy that is to fill like drywall. It did come with this. It came with like these hooks. And you can like hook it on, but I don't really have anything to hang it from. Except my AC thing, which could work potentially. I just don't know where I'd clip it onto the AC unit. And even if I found a spot, there's high potential that I would break the AC unit. So that might be the only move I have then, besides hanging it with those. It's just doing it and hoping I do a good enough job to fill them later. Just wear it like a necklace. That shit would be funny. It's like it looks good, but my head's basically like right in front of it. It'd be so much better if it was right there. Would look pimp. We'll get it. We'll get it. Snatched that London high. Crazy moves this morning. Got down to that weekly low. We sat down there and consolidated sideways for a while on both ES and NQ. Finally broke higher.
Dude, when we got down to that top of your zone right there, there was so much positive delta in those swoops. Yeah, right where your cursor is. There was every time it went below there, it was just like boom, 20 cons, 40 cons.
I love
at the
that
same
like
level.
the TA matches up with the shit you're seeing. Because like all that is a previous week low. That's all I drew. And then we have that gap there. Which the gap is like less relevant right now just because it's so large. But
I gotta type real quick.
What is ES bouncing off? Oh, that was the VWAP I drew just for a fucking photo. Literally just a New York session VWAP. That's funny.
Gotta do it for the post, bro.
Yeah, I forgot to take it off. Might as well just leave it. I mean, having a New York session VWAP on your chart is not the worst thing, but... That's how I would use VWAP though if I was heavily using it for anybody in the audience. I don't know what other people do, but I wouldn't just use a normal VWAP, especially on futures. I would anchor it to the New York session open only every day and run that. And then you could also like have like an overnight VWAP or something that you look at.
I do the day session from Globex Open.
Yeah. So that would be like an overnight VWAP, which I don't think is bad at all. Like having that as well, especially for futures. But then like for your tighter intraday stuff, like from New York Open is pretty nice. Fucking rip, dude. Oh shit, bot.
That's 100 points from that last low.
Let's go, Frank. It's nasty.
I didn't get all of it. I just took a piece of it and I sold it up 60 points. I can't believe this. Why didn't I keep it, runners? It's just like, oh, it's 3 o'clock. Day's over.
Yeah.
Take it.
Banana nut bread at work. Oof. Dude. Banana bread's so good.
Dude, I have to acquire a tungsten cube.
You know it's even better than banana bread?
Chocolate chip banana bread.
Did you say chocolate banana bread?
Chocolate chip banana bread. Hell
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, baby. It's a pretty light week until the video earnings, right? And then we got Memorial Day off next week. Pretty chill.
Oh shit, yeah. Memorial Day. That'll be nice. I'm gonna go to the beach.
You gonna be in Cali for that or still down there?
No. I'm gonna be in
That's it
Cali.
right there.
I was like, wait, am I? Fuck. No, so I'm here until the 30th. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I'll be flying back to Cali. I'm gonna be there all of June. I'm gonna hate my life waking up at 5 a.m. every day. Oh my lordy. I mean, I wake up like pretty early every day here, but it's not really waking up that's the problem. It's being able to have some time after you wake up. In Cali, I'm gonna have like a whole 5:30. I'll have an hour about to like wake up and get myself together, shower. But yeah, I got to be out there till the end of the month because last week of June, I'm going to Lake Havasu. And I'm going to kick it there, do a little vacay. I'll be back out here in July. Ooh, I might have to stay. I gotta stay in town for 4th of July, though. I gotta hang out with my redneck friends.
That's the
for
stuff.
sure. Gotta hang out with the necks and celebrate. Watch the fireworks, all that.
It's on a Saturday this year.
Don't trust me. I'm gonna shoot you. Look at that hours. Yes, Ripper.
Oh my gosh, bro, the issue in this like multi-hundred line, almost at 1,000 lines right now. I just started it. It's 2 lines with a problem. That's all. Loving that. I got you, Granville. Let me start it. It'll take a few minutes to like start. It's a direct connection.
I'll be right back. Stare at the beautiful sign while I'm gone.
Hold her down. I didn't even notice that. I thought that was just more light. That's sick. Yeah, Granville, I got you. I'll let you know where the gamut is in a moment. Once this starts up. Get ASMR. Dude, I took my headphones off to take off my hood, and I heard you.
You
take
still
that
heard
sip.
that shit.
My
You still heard
headphones, like,
that shit.
right here.
Yeah, you still heard that.
Astro A40s.
Metro, don't trust me. I'm on it. Or do I? Wimbledon. Me la peles. Ryan abandoned us. He did. He did. But for good reason. You gotta blame Evan for that. Don't blame Ryan. You gotta blame Evan. It's his fault. We arrived. Administrative situation. Circles in my head, and you don't even know them, man. Or should I let it slide? I think I go the distance. Back up in here. Kikku Lotto puts to find out. Heard that. She calls him. Right back down.
We're getting there on the Gamma.
Heard.
I have to download every single option contract that exists on the CME, so that way it includes
Oh, really? That's fucked.
well, because it's not as much as you would think, but it is a lot. The reason is that you know how like we had like we're on NQ M6.
Yes.
Those codes for the option contracts look like Minecraft enchantment tables. Dude, it is so weird. It's not consistent across COMEX, Globex, whatever it might be. And so honestly, the easiest, instead of writing the weirdest mapping function, I'm teleporting so hard. You gotta, it's easier to just grab every single one. So that way you have all the 0 GTEs, all of the weeklies, everything.
Yeah, because you want it to be accurate. So.
Yeah, you need everything.
Okay.
There you go. You guys can see my room. It makes it faster once you actually have everything downloaded, but it's annoying on a cold start. Because then if you want a new asset, you already have all the option data for it already.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. Yes. Taking a low. Taking a low. Thank you, taking a low. Back down to the range top from earlier.
Nice job, Banana.
NQ's way stronger here. It was all day too. Like this same consolidation on ES. It's like straight sideways through all that, whereas NQ was a little more. It was still sideways, but making more prominent higher lows. What do we do from here? We've had one tap into that weekly low now. Oh, we have this order block right here. From that weekly low, changing the state here. Didn't really start breaking these highs. I'm really interested to see, like, I want to watch this area now here. Watch this 0.5 and the reaction off of this order block here, because this is essentially an order block. If we can hold this upper half, respect this 50%, I would expect us to continue to start to trend higher back into Asia, previous day high. But knowing these weekly levels and being like, I've been here before, you know, I've been in the same position, like waiting for these types of setups before. On this bigger time frame, I am curious to see if we want to re-sweep the lows and maybe trade a little bit deeper into this weekly gap. If price tells me like, no, we're respecting this and we want to like actually continue to break higher, make higher lows from here, start breaking higher highs, then I can't think that anymore. But we're still in that period where it's like, okay, we've gotten a nice reaction, but let's see the back test and let's see if we can really hold that and try and get continuation. And if not, I can maybe expect these lows to come back into play and maybe we trade a little bit deeper and get some further like manipulation, I would call it, into this area. But we'll see. Nice reaction off those weekly levels so far. And this morning, it was a very easy draw on liquidity. Like, guys, when where's market open? Market open right here. When market's opening and we have a bearish hourly fair value, this is not bear. This is not market open, is it? Where's market open? Forget which gap it was. No. Is this the same gap that we from this morning? I can't tell. I literally lost my train of thought because of this.
I'm not sure. I remember you talking about it.
No, it was just clearer this morning because we didn't have a bunch of other price action. It's throwing me off. Yeah, I'm assuming that this is the same one. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's the same one that I was looking at this morning. I just want to make sure because I want this to actually make sense. But to me, again, I was just looking at higher time frame order flow. It's not super important, but it was just that gap I was looking at going into open. We did kind of try and run through it. That we had some nasty like candles this morning. It was a little wild. But overall, we were trading under this and the market's opening right above these weekly levels. We talked about it yesterday. I was already looking for those weekly levels to get potentially tapped into. But we just don't know for sure until that momentum starts to come in. And they freaking took it all the way down there this morning. And then they bought it a lot quicker than I thought too, to be honest. I thought we would not get bought up so much from that area instantly. But I was wrong there. They fucking ripped it back to London. It's crazy. I did not expect that move at all. I was not expecting that. The move down to weekly lows made sense. And when we're opening market above a big weekly level like that, and neither of them have been taken on ES, like, you know damn well that's my target. That is my draw.
Did you take one today?
I did.
Very nice. Very nice.
4-minute inversion. I honestly think it was better on ES, but
Dude, ES has been way cleaner recently.
it's been cleaner, bro. It really has.
I haven't switched, but I'm just like I switch between them all the time. You know, I'll click between each one, and I'll click between all four. But ES has just been so much slicker.
Yeah. That chop is nasty today, though. Do you use ICT Midnight Retrace? Yeah, here and there. I don't draw it every day. I used to draw it every day, but it is a great target. It's about like 70% of the time that's going to get hit or so. Maybe a little less. I haven't looked at that data recently. But it's a great retracement draw for the intraday. Like, let's just look. I'm curious. We can look on NQ where Midnight Open was today. I don't know exactly. Let me look. We did not retrace to it today. Looks like. Yeah, no chance. Wait. Oh no, I'm fucking way too far back. That's why. Okay. Midnight Open. So this is Midnight Open right here. So we opened up basically at Midnight Open. We did retrace to it, but we opened up basically at it. Like this was market open. We ripped straight to Midnight Open. Got above that. This was nasty manipulation here. That was gross.
The range today was just defensive.
Midnight Open is good, like good target and context, you know? It's not, I wouldn't just like try and play to it every single day, no matter what, but like it in context is good. Maybe Midnight Open is kind of lining up with London High, or maybe it's under London High and your real target is London High, but you know, Midnight Open sitting there, maybe you take a trim, leave the rest for London, right? Like you can use it in context with your other narratives. I wouldn't just blindly try and say like, oh, market's opening below Midnight Open, I'm gonna instantly long. But it can be used. Generally, the kind of rule of thumb with those is also marking the 8:30 open. And a tier 1 setup would be using Midnight Open. It would be you just opening above or below Midnight Open, looking for the retrace. But a tier 2 setup would be you opening above and below Midnight Open, above or below Midnight Open, plus the 8:30 open as well. Typically, that will mean like, let's say you're opening below it. You're generally a little more intraday, like sold, oversold. And you should look for those retracements, but it's not like guaranteed. I wouldn't just, again, you got to use it in context. But they're great draws intraday, especially if you're using like these higher time frame gaps and those just want to be like quicker take profit spots. I say do it, but experiment with it, back test, see what kind of data you get. Shermaine trades, Shermaine underscore trades, I think is his at. I don't remember. He uses it a lot. He's very good.
I got you guys with the gamma right now. Flip on NQ is, we're pretty much right at it actually. It's at 28,985s for all expirations. On the 0 days, it's in the same spot actually, 28,990s. On ES, it's higher, 7340s for all expirations, 73, excuse me, I misspoke right there. 7400 for all expirations and 73 93 for zeros.
And once it hit the market, quit bidding up. Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, you'll see
flat.
that. It's a very reactionary level.
Pretty much flat gamma on NQ and very negative on ES.
Hmm.
Well, not very. I've seen it more negative. Negative about 6 billion on ES, which actually isn't a lot. About $26 billion worth of delta is going to expire today for ES, which is just crazy to think about. 4 billion for NQ. Got you, Garrett. Yeah, you're right, Garrett. It looked a bit cleaner in the morning, especially on the 0 DTEs. But yeah, it was a little further all day, but yeah.
Tommy, the change in the states have been cooking so hard right now in this market, especially on ES. Look at this. Look at this is after market opens. Change in the state. Downside. Market rips, does its thing. Another change in the state, which people, if you don't know what change in the state is, it's literally just the last series of up close candles that swept liquidity to the left gets closed below, and vice versa. The last series of down close candles, like if price closed above the open of this, would have been change in the state to the upside type of thing. Just like a structure break. You could think of it kind of like a break of structure, but just slightly different. But like, look at these, Tommy. Because I'm just talking to you right now because I know you use them or have used them in the past with me. It's just nasty. Look at that, fucking. And then watch. On top of it, run a standard deviation like a dog. Run standard deviation. Look at this. Always -2 to -2.5 standard deviations. Fucking. Of that manipulation leg. It's fucking sexy, dude. It's fucking sexy. Let's see. Where's your next like clean change in the state? That's not very clean. Wouldn't look at that. I don't think that's very great, but it was there, I guess. Off these lows, though, every time, look at close above the body of those candles. You back test that, hold the change in the state, rip higher. You get another change in the state to the downside, gives you fucking like 5 points on ES. Back up later in the day, back up again off this change in the state. Market fucking pumps, dude. We come back, another change in the state to the downside. It's nasty, dude. ES cooks with CISD right now. Absolutely cooking with it. It's clockwork. Like, and that was without any context. Like, add a higher time frame for value gap that you're tapping into with that. Oh my goodness. You're just rinsing, bro. Stupid. It's stupid. And like right now in this market especially, it's like okay, let's say you get a change in the state. Like, where was it? I just saw one that you would have missed, but it came back down. Where was it? Oh, right here. This one. So it's like, obviously you get that close below. If you market ordered in, your fill was like somewhere around here, which kind of not as good, right? You still caught that pump up, but let's say you missed that, you didn't take it. If you left orders just sitting at that change in the state, entered in at that open, like fucking 2 ticks of drawdown and just fucking pump. It's so stupid, dude. Oh my gosh, they're just cooking. And on all time frames too. Like, look at, we just got this. That's also why I'm watching ES and NQ very closely here. because ES is just like trying to do this on the hourly. The only thing I didn't like about it is the displacement wasn't really there on ES. It was more there on NQ. That's why I'm got the fibs here, 0.5 fib. And I'm watching that to see, okay, if we're going to hold half back, hold this change in the state, maybe we can actually get back to Asia, previous day high, you know, pump into these other areas. But if we're losing this area and trading, you know, a lot of momentum under, there's no reason we shouldn't go back down to this area of all these wicks and back into that low potentially. So, but yeah, clockwork, bro. It's been insane. It's been low risk too. Oh yeah, like I mean, there's a few ways you could probably go about it, but like, let's just do some examples of what like we could do here. Oh, I'm on a 5 minute. That's why I'm tripping. Okay. Something like this would have been big risk, just given the environment recently, especially on NQ. Like you look at NQ, it's 110 points of risk. A lot of volatility recently. But if you're, that's just points though. If you're sizing correctly, you can really get juicy with it. And on some of these, like, bro, the risk to reward on that one play I was just looking at. Oh, I lost it again. There's so many candlesticks. Gosh. Right here. Like this, these are when it's beautiful, Tommy, because you can leave those orders and say, okay, well, I know for a fact if we're going to respect this change in the state and this shit's going to work out for me, we need to be holding this kind of higher low structure. We made higher lows here. Let's hold this higher low structure and not be breaking that, right? So like risk could look something like that. If you're a little bit tighter with it, maybe you go the body of the candle. I think it, for the most part, for me, it depends on whether or not you have SMT or not. If you have an SMT low, I say give it to the low, you know? If you don't, then maybe you go the body of the candles. Just kind of depends on the situation. But like, that is beautiful. Even if you, I mean, you could have targeted 1-to-1, which is okay, but like even just targeting in these previous highs into this gap, maybe you're extra sketchy and you want that range high, you know what I mean? But like you say, pretty good risk on a lot of these plays. Even something like this, if you got a bit of a late entry and like market ordered in there, it's like, okay, well, I don't know if we had SMT here, did we? Technically we did. So NQ never took out this low, ES did. When you have SMT like that, like extend that to the low, stop, give that room. Target that 1-to-1, maybe it's back to this VWAP or that previous high. There's just multiple ways to go about it, but like just changing the states, man. Cooking.
Rambo, that 343 lot came across my level 1 thing, so it was an aggressor, which is crazy. It's probably an initiation. And we're negative gamma, so that might be someone hedging with this price. So it could accelerate into close.
My algo takes all these plays. Let's go, Tommy. Fuck yeah. You have it to where it's just taking all the change in the states? You choose which time frame I want this CISD to be on. Yep, beautiful. It's fucking awesome, dude. Do you have it set up to where you just like, if there's a change in the state and it has, you know, displacement, you're taking it? Or is it, are you only doing it out of high time frame gaps? I'm curious. I mean, most of the time when we get a change in the state like that, you're gonna be getting it out of some area of significance on the chart. But 4-hour bias, yeah, that makes sense. That makes it higher probability for sure every time. You might miss some plays, but the plays you take are going to be better.
There's a resume that says 208. I thought that said 200 billion. What? Or 20 billion.
Dude, me and Evan ripped some Fortnite the other day. First time in a minute.
Dude, I haven't played a video game in months, man. I gotta take advantage of like having more time right now. I gotta play Doom again.
Yeah, my game time is me staying up too late. And
Yeah.
That's the only time I really have to game.
Yeah.
Because
Terrible.
fuck, all day I'm on here and then spaces and then we got meetings and shit. Like, we don't get done till 7, 8, depending on the days. Sometimes we just stay on like Slack huddle till fucking 10 o'clock at night, just chatting.
Dude, that's how it be.
It's fun.
That's awesome, Tommy. 5 props trading 5 different settings. I love that.
Mona Lisa on her way. Wait till you see this on X Jordy and Joe, one of my larger days on TPT Pro. Ooh.
Let's go.
I'm following you, right, Newton? Yes, I am. I want to make sure. Let go. Hey, hey. You remember me? Is it deja vu?
That's why.
MOC 4 minutes. No idea what that comes out at, but we'll see. I would think, honestly, gun to my head, I'm going to say buy side just because of the weekly level that we tapped into, but that's the only reason why. Could be totally wrong. I just run Market Ninja right now. On 2 accounts, Brian. Most of my accounts right now are allocated towards my manual trading.
$73, $75 bounce spot. Add VWAP on NQ. That makes sense. Sweep. What is that level? Sweep 930s.
Finally broke under New York session VWAP on ES. Yeah, no worries, Brian. I'll switch off here and there, but like right now I'm focused on just trading a shitload of accounts.
A Codex trading vest is pretty sweet, bro. Can't cap.
Let's go, Tommy. Fuck yeah. I need to start getting my feet wet with automation. Yeah, man, you start slow, you know?
If you allocate a little bit of, well, if you allocate like a small enough amount to just normal distribution stuff, you know, just most of the time you'll do fine, and then the times that you do, that the normal distribution fails, it'll be so infrequent that it'll be okay if it's intraday.
Yeah. I would say too, just not everybody has this experience, but with my experience, especially with the prop firms switching from monthly to just one-time payment, a lot of them, with the one-time payments, the only issue with that is once the month's up, if you didn't pass, you can't pay for it again. You have to buy a new one. And so to pass evals, you gotta be sizing a bit heavier, I would say, especially on the automation.
There's some selling.
And you might buy 5 accounts and rinse 2 or 3 of them, but have 2 fundeds or 3 fundeds. Or the way I like to go about it is, since automation is a little bit slower, but just like stacking slowly, especially with multiple accounts, if you go that way, I truly like the direct to fundeds for specifically, like if you know you're going to buy an account for automation, because for one, you're instantly funded. Now you don't have to worry about fucking trying to pass the eval in a certain amount of time or anything. Now you just focus on sizing that thing properly and letting the strategy trade. And guess what? Majority of the time, I would say, as long as you're sizing correctly, you size it correctly to where you know you're not going to go over your 20% consistency or whatever it may be, because a lot of those direct to funded accounts have low consistency, right? But that's fine. With automation stuff, you can say, like my daily limit to make is like this. I think it would be like $600 if it's a 50K and you have 20% consistency, right? So you know I'm locking out account like every day at $600, not going to let it trade anymore, and we're good. You know, and you just let that stack. Doing that on multiple accounts, that could be nice. So I do like those, especially for the automation side. I think they're great. A lot of people don't like the direct funded, but it's because that consistency, which I understand, depends on your strategy. If you're trading a higher strat with a lower win rate, like, you're kind of fucked. You can't be using consistency that small. But if you have a higher win rate, you're running a lower RR, taking profits a little bit quicker, you can rinse.
Jordy, you got MOC?
Oh, good question. Let's see, was that right? Is it positive? Nope,
I don't
was
think
wrong. Negative 1 billion. S&P.
Yeah, remember earlier I said we had 6 billion negative jacks on ES, and I was like, that's a lot. Now we're at negative 30 billion.
That's only Apex, Tradeify, and Lucid. Oh, really? On Tradeify and Lucid, they keep them open. Do you know how long, Keegan? I haven't had to do it, so I didn't know exactly. Because I send my evals, to be honest. I'm never in a position where it's like end of month and I have to, you know, try and buy the account again or something. But I did assume so because of them getting away from monthly. But do you know how much time they give you? Is it like a couple days? I wonder.
Really, Keegan?
Oh, it is forever. Is it really? That's awesome.
That'd be sweet, but yeah.
Maybe I just saw that with Apex and I assumed that Tradeify was the same. And most of you are probably never in that position anyway. It's not going to take you that long to pass. But sometimes with the automation, if you're sizing a little lower and you want to like be safe, you know, it might take a little bit longer.
We got two for two in the chat saying Lucids can take as much time as you need.
That's awesome. Fuck yeah. I gotta send this invoice. Shit. I forgot about that. Dang it. That means my money's gonna take a little bit longer.
Disaster.
Damn it.
Good stuff, Tommy.
Create new invoice.
We got 4 minutes.
Legal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, inactivity makes a lot of sense. Yeah, but it's good decisions, Tommy. Reinforcing that smart behavior.
Yes, sir. Save draft. Download as PDF.
Let's go, Newton. I just saw it. Banger day.
All right. That's done. Flights are expensive right now, man. It's crazy. I just bought a one-way to Cali. Wasn't too bad. It was like $200, but I just did it in points. But I was looking at the round trip, and it's definitely a little spicier than usual. It's like, damn.
Look what they did to my boy. Look what they did to my boy Spirit. They would never.
Mm-mm-mm.
$30 seconds.
Sip. Telling you, these fucking change in the states, dude. Holy shit, bud. They're literally free money right now. It's crazy.
Bristol's getting long. So
He is?
Look in the chat. So that 343
let's go.
wasn't you, bro?
We get the fuck long. He's said swing it the fuck long.
The 343 lot wasn't him then. Or Risley Bear. All right, ding, ding, ding.
Oh shit! 30 seconds late. Kava reporting earnings. I don't know who really cares about that, but we'll see. 850, 860 on my buyer. I'm with it. I don't hate that spot. That's right into... Yeah. I don't hate that. And this order block. Oh my gosh, Tommy. Even this on NQ. Look at this order block. We never revisited. We just pumped. But look. Where the fuck did we just... Where did we just bounce? Dude, those untapped order blocks, when you like pump and then end of day, like end up revisiting, it's crazy. Or like later in the day. Those reactions were wild, dude. It's just wild to look at. I love to see it. Order blocks are powerful, man. Always a great day.
Oh, yeah.
Another great day. Shout out to the sign, dude. Ooh.
Shout out to the sign.
Looking good. Looking good.
Sound like Muscle Man right there, bro.
Ah. All right, crew. We're going to bounce out with that fofo. But hope you guys enjoyed. As always, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
We got NVIDIA earnings.
Oh.
Ooh, buddy. Gonna be fun. I don't know. We'll see. IV Crush has been the winning positions during that time, so yeah. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Should be exciting either way.
I took a 4-minute inverse out of that hourly gap we had this morning, Bihanu. Just for a 1-to-1. I tried something in pre-market too, which failed. So I was like, not very green on the day, but I was green, which pissed me off. Especially since I had the bias like perfectly right, but execution was a little off. I just got excited and tried something in pre-market like a dumbass. Shouldn't be doing that, but you know, we make mistakes like that sometimes. It is what it is. Never gets easier, you know? Never gets easier making those mistakes as a trader. You think it will. It never gets easier with your emotions. You just gotta look past it and try and make sure you don't do that shit again, you know? But you whaties. Factual. Yeah, it's tough though. Well, guys, I'm out. I'm getting out of here. We got I gotta do a meeting here in a little bit, so I'm gonna eat some food and hop on that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, y'all.
All right. Peace out, chat.